Hi there, I'm Elanor, and this is Screenwriting 101, the channel that brings you tips, tricks and insights into the world of screenplays. Today, we will be covering the basics. There are 4 basic formatting elements that you will find on every page of every screenplay: sluglines, character, action, and dialogue. Sluglines are your scene headings. They're what sets the scene for your reader by letting them know whether they're inside or outside, what the location is, and whether it's day or night. Whenever there's a change in location or a passage of time, you must create a new slugline in order to create a new scene. Sluglines should always be capitalized. They should begin with interior or exterior, abbreviated to INT or EXT, and followed by a full stop or a period. After this, there should be a space, and then you should list your location. That can be anything from jail cell to living room. Once you've done this, there should be a space, followed by a dash, followed by another space, in which you will list whether it's day or night. Sluglines should only ever contain day or night, as by way of telling the time. They should never say anything like midnight or morning or dawn or dusk or twilight or evening. It should only ever say day and night. If your plot necessitates it to be a specific time of day, that can be listed in the description underneath. Action is the descriptive portion of your screenplay that allows the reader to visualize what's happening in a particular scene. There are 2 very important, though very cliched rules that apply when it comes to writing action, and that is show, don't tell, and less is more. You need to remember that you're not writing prose, and only be as descriptive as you need to so that the reader can visualize what's going on. As well as describing action, your location, and your characters' movements, you can also introduce your characters through action. When you do this, make sure that the first time their name is mentioned is capitalized. Thereafter, you can just write it in the normal format by only capitalizing the first letter of their first and surname. The character element of your script is effectively headings on your dialogue that let the reader know who's speaking. If you're not using a tailored software, you need to remember that it should always be centered and always be capitalized. Now, you shouldn't change your characters' names throughout the script. If you have a character named Elizabeth, who the first time she spoke, Elizabeth was written above her dialogue, then it can't change throughout the script. If you want to give a character a nickname, like say you actually want her to be referred to as Beth, what you would do is when you're introducing your character in the action portion, when it's capitalized, you would write Elizabeth, and then in quotation marks, Beth, and then her surname. And then from then on you can call her Beth, and the reader will know who you're talking about. You shouldn't change halfway through. She can't start as Elizabeth and then change to Beth. Now, there are circumstances where it is acceptable to break this rule, and that is if maybe you didn't know who a character was at first, like if they start being described as male figure and then you find out their real name, then it's okay to change as long as your description and your dialogue makes it obvious what's happened. The same goes if a character said they were one person and turned out to be another. When you find out their true identity, it's also, as long as through your description and your dialogue and scene content you have made this clear, it is okay to then change their name. But these are mitigating circumstances you need to be careful of. If this isn't what's happening in your script and you've just decided you want Elizabeth to be referred to as Beth, it must start from the outset. Dialogue is probably the easiest screenplay format to describe. It's what your characters say. It's how they speak, it's how they use language. If you're not using a tailored software, it should always be centered and below a capitalized character heading. It should never begin or end with speech marks, and I would avoid using bold or italics within the body of your dialogue. The most important thing when writing dialogue is that it's different, that it's unique. You want to avoid cliches. You want to give each character a unique voice that makes them easily identifiable from the other characters in your script. You don't want 2 characters that sound the same or repeat the same lines. And you want to avoid cliches like look. Very few real people start sentences with look. And even if someone does, once per script is a hard and fast rule that I would stick to. You want to make sure that each character is easily identifiable and that their way of speaking pertains to their character. You can't have a character who's a young and innocent girl suddenly starts swearing unless it's a plot point. In the same way, you probably wouldn't have a gritty New York cop speak with perfect grammar. I need to remember that people don't speak with perfect grammar. People don't always finish their sentences, and they miss out words for laziness or brevity. So you have to keep all that in mind when you're creating dialogue, and hopefully you'll be able to create something unique and something that sets you apart from other people. That's from me today. Thank you for tuning in to Screenwriting 101. As always, like and subscribe, and comment below if you have any questions or any topics you'd like me to do a video on in the future. See you next time.